All right, we are here. I think we're here. Everybody good?
I think so.
Ugh. Oh my God. We had some technical
Apologies,
difficulties.
everyone.
Thank you very much for your patience, everybody. My name is Donnie G Retro. I'll be your quasi host this evening, maybe, kind of, sort of. With me, as always, is my two fine co-hosts. Um, we don't have an intro tonight because I didn't really. I was trying to fix something that happened off stream. So we have Blue Williams, aka Riders View, and Mr. Ryan Payne, aka Retro Game Brews. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing
Uh,
well. Doing well. Do you have
Gotta
the show
love
notes pulled
technology.
up? I know you have the template.
Oh God.
Is
And
that
yes,
yes?
I'm sorry. What's that?
Do you have the show notes pulled up? Because I know you were busy.
Oh, I'm pulling them up now. I apologize
Good.
sincerely. I do apologize.
We are all on the same page.
Oh, geez. Okay. So, for those streamers out there who know that every time that you go live and something doesn't work, right? Something changes every single time that you go live. It's like, why? Why? I didn't deserve this. I'm a nice person. I is this karma coming back to kick me in the ass for something? Apparently.
It's okay, Donnie. We love you.
Kisses. Let me see.
Yeah.
Where's the show notes at?
A big thank you to everybody who subscribed already. We're at a level 3 hype train, so thank you all for that. That was awesome.
Yes,
Hopefully, you
thank
guys
you.
enjoy the emotes, and yeah, thank you. This is first night that we're offering up subscriptions, so Clayman71, first subscriber, take that to the bank, sir.
Woohoo!
Thank you all. That's awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
All right,
thank you.
I do have the show notes pulled up.
Okay, excellent. So let's go ahead and get the show started. Welcome to Gamers Week podcast. Like the name says, we analyze the best, worst, and weirdest headlines of the past week in the video game industry. And just a quick reminder, if you haven't entered our April giveaway for the chance to win a brand new copy of Minecraft Legends for the Nintendo Switch, tomorrow is the last day. So be sure to check out Retro Game Brews pin tweet on Twitter for instructions on how to enter. So, tonight we have for you a podcast that's powered by more AI than a self driving car. Today we're exploring the wacky and wild world of artificial intelligence in gaming. From virtual assistants that help you beat bosses to NPCs that are smarter than your average bear, AI is making gaming more intelligent, more unpredictable, and more fun. In this episode, we'll be discussing the latest AI powered innovations in gaming, weighing the pros and cons of AI's involvement in gaming, and predicting the future of gaming as we continue to rely on AI to enhance our gaming experience. So grab your virtual pocket protector, fire up your AI copilot, and get ready for a fun filled episode of Gamers Week that's more AI than you can shake a joystick at.
That is
So,
so bad.
that is really bad. So, full disclosure, ChatGPT wrote that intro for us.
That's insane. That is crazy. What Chat GPT can do.
Right. So we wanted to take an episode of Gamers Week since ChatGPT is the flavor du jour right now. And I actually earlier this week had a very long conversation with a supervisor that was telling me that freelance writing is dying. And so if I want to continue on my career, I really should learn how to optimize ChatGPT to replace me and do my job for me and become a freelance writer. So you know what? Screw it. Let's go ahead and turn the whole episode tonight over to Chat GPT and please sit back, relax, and enjoy your assimilation.
How does that make you feel, Blue?
Like dirt.
So Hybrid did say you guys need a wacky we're experiencing technical difficulty screen with something like a picture of Donnie or any of all of you absolutely tangled in a mess of wires. So if you guys have like a box or a tote full of extra wires and cables, we need everybody, we need Blue and Ryan and myself to take a picture all tangled with wires all over ourselves so we can
You
put
know,
that on our standby screen.
I like
every
it.
self-respecting gamer has a box like that.
Mine's in the closet.
Yep.
I've got a whole couch.
Mine's downstairs. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at the headlines. From VGC, Sony's Shuhei Yoshida says AI will change the nature of learning for developers. Did I say that right, Blue?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
Well
just want to
done.
make sure. Thank you. Um, In an interview with The Guardian, Yoshida was asked what he thinks about developers' concerns that AI could replace human effort in disciplines like art, music, and coding. Yoshida said developers will need to learn new skills to effectively use AI, which he believes will ultimately have a positive impact on game development. It is a tool, and so is Gutter. Someone has to use the tool, he said. AI can produce very strange things. Now he gets it. As you must have seen, you really have to be able to use the tool well. AI will change the nature of learning for game developers, but in the end, development will be more efficient and more beautiful things will be made by people. People might not even need to learn programming anymore if they have learned how to use these tools of the future. The creativity is more important, the direction, how you envision what you want. Yoshida gave The Guardian an example of how AI is being used by smaller teams to help them create projects that might otherwise be out of their capability.
And
I
that's
was
why
go-
we edit the show.
You guys are getting it raw, unfiltered, uncut.
Mid-sentence. I love it.
Well, it's because of this. I was going through 15 pitches in a competition for indies in Japan just this morning, and one of them had amazing, beautiful graphics made by a small team of students, he said. They said that they used Midjourney, the AI art generator, to create the art. That is powerful, that a small number of young people can create an amazing looking game. At last month's BAFTA Games Awards, Yoshida received the Fellowship Prize, which is the highest accolade that can be bestowed by the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Davies people. The people who have received this award before are all creators, amazing, talented, genius people. I don't know how I fit in, he told The Guardian, but everybody says I deserve it, so I guess I deserve it. I don't know what I did, but I'll take the award, sure.
Right.
So, thoughts? Are we ready for all of us to be replaced by AI? Programmers, artists, writers, voice actors.
This feels a little bit like when crypto was big, right? Where everybody was saying, "Oh, everyone needs to get into NFTs. Everyone needs to get into crypto." It sounds like when Google Glass came out, and that was going to be the future of
Right.
how we interact with the world. And there's this huge push for AI. I totally get it because you know what, there is some application for that. But I think we've discussed this in the past that when it comes to creative things, uh, there's a certain amount of what AI can do based off of what information has been fed to it. And I can see utilizing it for things that are mundane or things that take too much time that don't have a lot of payoff. So if you're talking about just basic NPC stuff or just shading on background and art and that kind of thing, that I can see being a tool of AI. But when it comes to storyboarding and coming up with ideas for video games and all of those things, I just don't see the utility yet, or at least I haven't seen AI be able to produce things that are of value. So one of the things that we looked at doing as well with AI today was just like having AI come up with everything for the episode, and it came up with really, really mundane crap.
Yeah.
It really, really did. Do you want to hear the script that it, not a script, but the bullet points that it came up with for the show?
Let's
Sure.
do it.
All right, let me. Okay, it said, plan out an episode of Gamers Week podcast. It said, sure, here's a possible plan for an episode of Gamers Week. Introduce the hosts and the topic of the episode. Briefly discuss what each host has been playing. Discuss recent gaming news, such as new game releases, updates, or industry trends. Have each host share their thoughts on the news and any related experiences. Choose a game that the hosts have all played and enjoyed, and have each host take turns sharing their thoughts on the game. Discuss any unique features. Choose a listener question or comment to feature on the show. And then finally, for closing, recap the main points of the episode and thank listeners for tuning in.
Wow, that's how you do a podcast? That's that easy?
That could be any one of 10,000 different gaming podcasts already out there.
Oh.
And
yeah.
so, yeah, and at the end of the day, obviously, AI gets the generic stuff, and that's fantastic. But if you really want something that's unique, fun, exciting, I just don't see that happening as of yet, right? Who knows? In the future, AI becomes self-aware. It becomes extremely creative. It's the next Mozart, whatever. But as of right now, with the technology that we have, that's what it's doing. Is it's pumping out things that are generic. And I don't want to play generic games. I don't
Mm-mm.
play Call of Duty. I don't play, just your typical mobile game. Those are all generic games, in my opinion. I don't want to play that stuff. I want to play stuff that's unique and fun.
Right.
I don't play Splatoon, man. That's
Yeah, real generic with that one. Yeah.
right. I it's something that we've talked about before with the way AI is creating artwork. Like it created the Cogenius image that we now use on the Gamers Week podcast T-shirt that we're selling. Merch store.
Moich store.
Moich store. That is like crazy. Like, yeah, somebody else, a human could have come up with that. But the fact that AI did, somebody just typed this stuff in and all of a sudden we're like, okay, all the images and everything that we know about Hideo Kojima and what a genius is. Obviously it took some things from Einstein and incorporated it into that. Like it is crazy what it can come up with as far as artwork is concerned. So the stuff that it's doing right now with just the text that Blue just gave us, very mundane, but it works. It's simple. It lacks feeling though. It lacks any type of like oomph. And I think that maybe it's just a matter of time before that gets implemented in as well. And then we are all obsolete.
And one of the things, though, that's interesting about art is that, yes, it can create art that's functional, right? You type in there, I just typed in Hideo Kojima as Albert Einstein, and it came up with this kind of cool picture. The one thing that you run into is that when you're creating art like that, there are certain steps. As you're going through creating it, you make different changes. You adapt, you learn, and you create on the fly, right?
Mhm.
And as of right now, AI can only do what you tell it to do in the beginning. So often I watch my wife go through, she creates art on Instagram. She'll start off with an idea and it's just not working for her. She doesn't like the aesthetic. There's something wrong with it. And if you've looked at anything when it comes to AI art, a lot of times it's real crap. It's like, what the fuck am I looking at here? Right. And yeah, sure, you get a lot of gems out of it too. But I think one of the things that it doesn't take into account is that creative space where all of a sudden I'm going to be able to make changes to it, learn and adapt.
Hmm. And I imagine that she has a lot of very strong thoughts about being replaced by AI herself. But I think the thing that kind of gets lost in the equation a lot of times is even if AI becomes relatively competent at doing these kinds of things, doing all the things that all of us do,
Mhm.
there is still hopefully always going to be a place for true craftsmanship. Like
Yes.
let's talk pizza. Okay? You can get a frozen pizza for a couple bucks. It was made by a machine, an assembly line machine. It was packed up. It's always going to be the same. It's cheap, it's affordable, whatever. But it's never ever going to be as good as something that was hand tossed by somebody who really knows what they're doing and in some little boutique pizza parlor place. So I don't know which one you'd rather have. I know which one I'd rather have. And I think that when it comes to creativity with AI, it's going to be pretty similar.
Holy Headshot says, as a New Yorker, frozen pizza offensive.
I mean, frozen pizza has its place. I had frozen pizza earlier today, but it is never ever going to be as good as the real stuff.
Hashtag Mama Celeste life.
Mama Celeste.
Is that a frozen pizza?
It is. It's
Yes,
a
it
brand
is.
of personal frozen pizza. That if you are like, man, Little Caesars is just too good. I need something a little below that.
I have a soft spot for like Totino's party pizza.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. A little ranch dressing on the top. You can eat like 4 of them.
But yeah,
Well,
that's the realm.
Yeah.
And AI is welcome to make as many Mama Celeste pizzas as possible. I'm sure they sell a lot more pizzas than your hand tosto. But to your point, if it's something where I'm seeking out entertainment rather than sustenance or boredom, I'll go for the hand tossed pizza.
If you're just not that high, yeah.
If you can remember to get your pizza out of the oven and you're not that high, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Next thing you know, you fall asleep and you get like some just blackened piece of coal that you're like, oh, okay.
Just throw some ranch dressing on it. You're good, right?
Good.
And I'm a Davey says, and I'm a savage for baked beans on chips. What? Now, when you say chips, are you talking about fries? Remember where you're at, Davey. Okay, chips are not the same thing. But baked beans on.
Maybe they're not that bad.
I don't know. Like, are we talking about barbecue baked beans or just regular, like the everyday run of the mill red sauce baked beans? Okay, fries. Thank you, Davey.
Fries.
Yeah. I'm going to put my baked beans on my chips. No, you put them on fries, Davey.
Oh, he's gonna kill you. There's a murder at PRG.
Yes. Yep.
I was murdered.
So Hybrid says, oh man, when I was in college, some moron put a frozen pizza in the oven with the plastic still on. The building was evacuated and it was freaking cold that night. Yikes.
And Davey has made a delineation here. Heinz baked beans from Europe.
Okay. I've never had Heinz baked beans from Europe. I've had regular Heinz beans and no, not since I was a kid. I can't do anything but like
different.
The same lines as like chili fries.
There you go.
Like a cousin to chili fries. I'm trying. I'm trying to help Davey.
And
Claimant
said,
says,
I was shocked to learn that gravy does not commonly come with fries in the U.S.
yeah.
I love
never
poutine.
heard of such a thing until I went south for school. I had no idea that gravy was a thing that people put
Oh, it's good.
on fries.
It's really
The
good.
thing is, all you had to do was go north, and you would have found it with cheese curds. So
I guess I live in that middle gravy free zone.
There's a map that
Right. Instead of state lines, that's how they should organize the country.
This is your gravy coverage. It's almost like a cellular map. This is where you get the most gravy. And you've got a bunch of states.
Right.
It's just blank because there's no gravy coverage there.
Right. And the alternative to the gravy map would be the fry sauce map. And then these are the weird areas of the country where they've never even heard of fry sauce, and these are
Right.
the good places.
You mean ketchup?
Good places.
All right, you guys want to go to the next one?
Sure.
All right. Next up from Creative Block. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
AI art is now banned in video games. Can it last? Every day, it feels like a new AI art app or use is being touted as the future of art and design with promise of speeding up workflows. But a new line is being drawn in the fight against AI art. It's not, and it's coming from the video game industry. According to video game director and freelance artist Ken, yep, who
Trent?
counts sorry,
Not
Trent,
even gonna try.
who counts Blizzard, Riot Games, Capcom, and Epic Games as his clients. Many video game companies are now contractually demanding artists do not use AI in their work. The issue appears to be around copyrights. If a video game company can't be assured its assets are truly self-created and wholly owned, then it could be stacking up problems in the future. AI art generators work by scraping the internet for images and reusing fractions of these photos and paintings to create new art. Essentially, AI art generators are being trained on data gathered without an owner's approval. Danger is if copyrighted images are scrapped and used, a studio cannot be assured it owns all assets in its video game. Many studios will be eager to assure art created for their games doesn't turn up elsewhere too. It can be incredibly hard to tell human art from AI art. For example, the artist Ben Moran was banned from Reddit for using AI art when in fact they hadn't. Further to this, under US law, a video game studio wouldn't be able to copyright and protect game art created by an AI. As reported by Art News in the United States Copyright Office issued a statement saying it considers text to image AI art akin to instructions for a commissioned artist. So I've seen some examples of this where AI art has clearly stolen from other, we'll say, media that's been out there and has actually included, for example, a very
A watermark or
blurry,
something?
yeah, a very
Yeah,
blurry Getty Images in the background. Right. So
right. Because
yeah,
it
we
doesn't know
haven't
what's part of the art and what's not.
right, we haven't quite taught AI yet not to utilize watermarked images, but that seems to be what's coming out of this. So I totally get it. I really do.
Hmm.
So as far as the fact that AI art has actually, I mean, it realistically has gotten a huge amount of backlash anyway, right? Uh, the with I forgot the name of the one that everyone was using for a while that created like 9 images for you. What was the name of that?
I've never downloaded Skynet to my phone, so
Somebody in the chat help me on this one. All right, you know what, moving forward with it, but that one in particular, that was, people were just having fun with it, right? Creating a whole bunch of art just randomly, things with
hmm
uh for example, Geek with that was using it for a while to come up with stuff that was Nicolas Cage related, right? Just typing in Nicolas Cage at
Yes, yes.
random thing,
I
right?
remember that. Yeah.
And those were hilarious and it was funny and it was great. But the thing is, now people are legitimately starting to use AI art as a replacement for their own work. And in that same vein, what you run
hmm
into is that, you know what, yes, it certainly helps and it goes around corners. But if, to this point of this article, if you can't own everything with a game, imagine how quickly all of the art that you have in a game can be used in other media. And all of a sudden, especially for things that you don't want, right? It can be
Right.
kind of bogarted for things that you don't want the message to be for your video game. And you can't take somebody to court for that because it technically wasn't yours. That's a little nuts.
Yeah. And in the previous article that we discussed, Shuhei Yoshida was praising the submission of the video game where all they did was use AI art to make their game.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think that if somebody truly valued original work, it would be him, but I guess he drank the AI Kool-Aid also. But I mean, this article is talking about copyright infringement gray areas when it comes to art, but I wonder how any of the other stuff that AI is being used for is any different. Why is writing different? Why is music different? Why is anything different? There should be copyright problems all over the place, but art just seems to be the most obvious one that's come up so far. And yeah, I think this tool is way more trouble than it's worth,
Has
personally.
has AI done anything with music or audio yet?
Well, what they're doing right now with voiceover work is so there's a certain ads that are going out on kind of the voiceover, um, you know, forums and things like that. Like, hey, come to us, we'll pay you this flat fee, and all you have to do is record saying these, 42 lines or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
And
Right.
what they're doing is they're taking all of those and turning that into an AI voice. So you'll be able
Oh.
to utilize that as an AI voice. So I would imagine AI music is just the same, right?
Simon says
Especially
in the chat, he says, yes, there is AI metal, I have heard.
there you go, there you go. And you know what? I'm fine with that if it's something. So, for example, if you're looking for royalty-free music, for your background of, say, a stupid video or,
Give you the
the
VIP introduction.
very important poll, for example.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
exactly, exactly. I'm okay with that, right? But that's still that takes money out of somebody who makes that stuff for a living, though. So there's
Right.
that part of it too. You know, if it's something that you're not going to make money off of, it's free and available to it, maybe. But the whole point of this is that when it comes down to it, it really muddies the water when it comes to copyrights and what's shareable and what's not. And we know places like Nintendo love to be litigious,
hmm
and the
Indeed.
idea that they don't own everything when it comes to their
Right.
game.
I mean, that's a great point. Is you think Nintendo is going anywhere near any of this AI stuff? I really, really doubt it because they value too much their brand. And that's an excellent question is, does AI water down your work? Does it water down your brand? Does it water down your product? I'm of the opinion that yes, it does.
And is it worth the amount of watering down of your product to increase efficiency temporarily? Is the question, and I think that's
Right.
what's going to happen. Is that's the conversation that's going to go down. what in this game do we not care about that somebody else could steal and utilize, and that we would want to sue over? And what do we want to keep? And again, though, that's still affecting somebody's livelihood, which
That's the big part right there. It's affecting people's livelihoods, but as we've seen the march of progress throughout the years with technology, it's going to happen. And it doesn't matter if the human factor falls to the wayside. We've seen that with switch operators. We've seen that with analysts or secretaries or whatever back from the 70s, where it's all that stuff has changed now. It's like what used to be, and advancement comes along and you're gone. And
I mean, if you
that's
look at the turn of the century, last century, so like the 1900s, population of the U.S. was over 50% agricultural. Now it's less than 2%. So you're
Right.
right. Technology
And
does.
Emo says in the chat, IMO, there are two camps: people who will adopt AI to make their jobs or lives easier, and those who won't.
sure.
And again, I think we brought it up in the show a couple weeks ago, but AI is inevitable in many areas of life. And I think there's a lot of areas in life where it's extremely applicable and will be helpful. But when it comes to creative stuff, that's where I draw the line.
I'll agree with that.
hmm
Same.
Because I think, like I said in the podcast, if humans aren't able to be creative for ourselves, if we're just seeding that out to robots, then what are we even doing here? Why do we continue to get up in the morning?
And as I said before, I accept our Wally style of life. I'm
I do not. No,
willing
resist.
willing to
Resist.
submit to our robot overlords for comfort.
Oh. What do you want to do today? I don't know. We could go play tennis. I played tennis yesterday. I don't want to do. No, I don't want to do that.
I could finally finish my backlog, though.
Well, no, because AI will be finishing it for you.
Yeah, there's a small step, I think, between having the AI design the games in your backlog to begin with before you just have AI play them for you.
Yep. I don't feel like you play it. You play. I'll just sit there and watch.
Yep.
You've described Twitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, why are you watching somebody play a game? Go play the game. That's how I
I think
relax.
this is how the robot overlords will convince us all to be Matrix style batteries in the future.
That's a good point. When is AI going to be a Twitch streamer, though? Like, that's going to happen,
How do you
right?
know they're not already?
It's true. I don't know offhand because it could be a VTuber for all I know, right? So somebody who
hmm
hides behind that. Hey, you know what? If that's the case, wow, very convincing. But having an AI like interact with chat, which also I think would be hilarious if you think about it, right? A computer that's reacting to somebody being like a total jerk and see what happens there and just go off the rails. I think I could deal with
That's not a bad segue, actually, to the next section
that.
where I was trying to get some actually interesting answers from ChatGPT when I was asking it to design the show. So let me see. I did ask it, which host of Gamers Week is the best, Blue, Ryan, or Donnie?
Oh, come on, 7. Let me roll this 20-sided die here.
The fact that she's telling us, I think I know the answer.
Right. Has an AI language model. I am designed to be impartial and cannot play favorites between the hosts of Gamers Week podcast. All of the hosts bring their unique perspectives and insights to the show, and it's up to the audience to decide which host they connect with the most. Each host has their own strengths and weaknesses, and it's the combination of their personalities that makes the show entertaining and informative. So I encourage you to listen to the show and decide for yourself which host you enjoy the most.
While I will applaud that, that is
Boring.
that is a pussy answer, chat GPT.
I
Pick a
was
side.
thinking TOS violations this whole time. It's been, it's been a long time coming.
Donnie gets your vote, Retro Legend.
Yes,
So.
I got one vote. One, I got one. That's all you need is one.
Ouch. Ouch.
And Clay's vote is redacted.
Yes, the redacted emote.
So then I asked it, does Genesis do what Nintendo don't?
Ooh.
And it said, this is actually a reference to a popular marketing slogan that Sega used in the 1990s. The original slogan was, Genesis does what Nintendo don't, and it was used to promote the Sega Genesis console as a more advanced and innovative system than the Nintendo consoles of the time. The slogan was controversial and caused a lot of debate among gamers, as many felt that it was unfair to attack Nintendo. Today, both Sega and Nintendo are well-respected companies in the gaming industry, and there is a lot of crossover between their fan bases.
By the way, I just wanted to point out, Jim said, I feel like Blue asked ChatGPT over and over again until she got an answer that wasn't at Retro Game Brew.
Hey, you are welcome to pull up ChatGPT yourself, Jim, and check my work.
So I will say that I didn't care too much for that last answer because obviously ChatGPT or AI doesn't know what it's talking about. Sega, I don't feel, is a very well-respected company anymore. So
You just hurt Games and Coffee's feelings on that one.
No.
You want Angry Sonic and Tails mobile game?
Yeah.
If that's not going to get them respect, I don't know what will.
Maybe that's what Sega did. Is they're like, who should we buy and what should we make with it? And it was like Rovio, Angry Sonic and Tails mobile game. They're like,
Yep.
done.
And to a lesser extent, Angry Birds on console.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still love Sega, but it's the old Sega, not the new Sega.
Right. The 90s Sega.
Exactly.
So, would you like to hear some AI-generated jokes?
Yes.
Sure.
So I asked ChatGPT for some jokes we could tell on the show.
Okay.
Why did Mario go to outer space?
Oh God, I don't know.
To find the princess on a new planet.
Nope. Nope. We're sorry. Your princess is on another planet. No.
Yep.
That was such a dad joke. Dad GPT.
Why was the video game character cold? Because he left his Wii U outside.
What?
Was that an innuendo though?
It seemed like it, but
Yeah, a little bit.
You want to hear the one that's innuendo for sure.
yes.
Okay.
Why did Sonic break up with his girlfriend? She
'Cause
was
she-
always knuckles deep in trouble.
Ooh. Oh. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That one's innuendo for sure.
Well done, GPT.
Because she was always knuckles deep in Tails.
Shadow? You don't think Shadow's more her type than Tails?
Or Shadow. Shadow's the bad boy.
Yeah. My favorite ones are the ones that don't make any sense. Why did the gamer go to the dentist? To get his fillings replaced with graphics cards.
Okay. No.
Yeah, nope.
Is that what I need to do? I just need to have Chat GPT write a whole bunch of jokes and then go on the Vegas Strip and be a comedian? And is this gonna work?
You gotta love that AI generated sense of humor. So
Oh
if
my
AI is
God.
gonna take over writing video games for us, let's hope they're not funny games. Here's another one. Why did the gamer quit his job at the banana factory?
Oh God.
Because it wasn't appealing,
That would be the obvious one.
right?
He kept throwing barrels instead of packing them.
I get it. I get the reference. I get it, but
It's like dancing all around it, but it's not quite there.
right.
So then I also asked it to do some knock knock jokes instead.
Okay.
These are special. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Sonic.
Sonic who?
Sonic, you have to go fast.
That's like a
At least
3-year-old who wrote that.
Right.
These are all like 3-year-olds joke. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Luigi.
Luigi who?
Luigi, Mario's brother. With an exclamation point at the end.
Jesus.
No, that's the punchline.
What? I'm knocking on your door. I can't just walk in. You're gonna ask me who's here?
Right.
Dux, thank you very much for that Prime sub. We appreciate that, sir.
Thank you, Dux. Okay, one more terrible, terrible knock knock joke. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Donkey.
Donkey who?
Donkey Kong, the original barrel throwing ape.
I'll quote Snacks or Clay on this one. These are not knock knock jokes. They are knock knock facts.
This is almost like Yakov Smirnov telling a knock knock
Right.
joke. Oh, what the country? Knock knock. Who's there? Luigi. Luigi who? It's Luigi, Mario's brother, huh? I love this country.
You're right. I'm probably just not delivering
Oh,
it in the
God.
intended method.
I paid $49.95 for this ticket? No. No, thank you.
In Mushroom Kingdom, Piranha Plant You.
Bullet Bill you.
Mm.
Those were horrible. Those were absolutely horrible.
Those were bad. Those were bad. So, yeah, if you want example number 1 of why AI shouldn't be taking over everything, I think that's a good one.
I'm surprised it's not stealing like, old like Lenny Bruce bits and stuff and just throwing that in there, right? Because again, it's just utilizing everything that's being pumped into it.
Hmm.
And like Richard Pryor, one of the most famous comedians of all time, let's get some raunchy Richard Pryor jokes from
Yeah.
Chat GPT.
But
Come on.
like Davey was trying it a few days ago, and Chat GPT is, well, like it says on the homepage, it's trained to decline inappropriate requests.
Okay. But what happens eventually when it starts compiling all of this stuff from all of the vulgarity, the sexist, the racist jokes and all that stuff that are always out there, and all of a sudden now you have a super sentient comedian, an AI comedian that's just going to start throwing this stuff out, and like how does that going to make people feel? And this is kind of like real talk when you start seeing some really bad stuff that we have seen from certain comedians. How's it going to make you feel when it starts coming from AI?
Well, and the thing is, though, it says it's purposely designed not to include inappropriate things, right?
Right.
But that's also a function of society. Is what do we consider to be inappropriate things? I mean, if you
Right.
went back
Hmm.
hundreds of years, you couldn't say the words that we've said today without serious social recourse as a result of that. So does the AI then, after a while, get to determine what's appropriate and what's not, or is it aware enough to be familiar with what society says is okay?
Right.
I don't know, and again, garbage in, garbage out, right? It's gonna, if it's the one that's doing all of the deciding for us, then we're gonna be perpetually in 2023 for the rest of all time. It was almost like we were like, you know what, we're good with 2023. We're gonna stick with that.
So Jim said, Chat GPT, yo mama is so fat. So I just asked it to give us some yo mama jokes.
Oh yes, please.
Yes, let's hear these.
Okay, these are actually much better. Yo mama is so dumb. She tried to put M&Ms in alphabetical order.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. Kudos.
Right. Ooh, somebody said, your mama is so hairy. When she went to the movie theater, she sat in front of herself.
Doesn't make sense. Boo.
Nope.
Nope. Your mama is so clumsy. She got tangled up in a cordless phone.
I've heard this one.
Okay, yeah.
I've heard this.
Yeah. Your mama's so ugly. When she went to a haunted house, she came out with a job application.
I've heard that one before.
Okay, so now it's just straight up poaching.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Holy Headshot says, your mama's so ugly. Scorpion said, stay over there.
So does anybody have anything else they want me to ask Chat GPT?
Yeah, let's open it up.
Open to the chat.
Yeah, ask your questions.
Our Q&A session, but instead of us, it's for Chat GPT.
Right.
Yo, mama's so fat, she don't need a website. She's already worldwide. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one is, yo mama's so fat when she walks by the TV, you miss 3 episodes.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's
I'm
a really good
stealing
one.
that
Yeah, that's got to be stolen from somebody.
Oh yeah.
There's no way. The good ones, there's no way. Like it proved with the last one. If it has to come up with its own stuff, it can't do it. So if it makes sense, then it's got to be stolen.
So
Alright,
we've got
Jim says,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Jim says, Chat GPT, N64, yay or nay?
N64. Yay or nay?
Nay.
Nay. As an AI language model, I don't have personal opinions, but I can tell you that the N64 was a popular home video game console that was released in 1996. It was the first gaming console to use 3D graphics, blah, 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 blah. Whether it's yay or nay depends on individual preferences and nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Duck says, Chat GPT, write a 5-second ad for the Sega Dreamcast 2.
Donnie's dream.
5-second ad for the Sega Dreamcast 2. Thinking. I'm sorry, but there is no Sega Dreamcast 2.
No
The
shit.
Dreamcast was discontinued in 2001, and there's been no official announcement of a new version being developed. As an AI language model, I cannot provide false information or advertise non-existent products. ChatGPT is no fun.
I'm going to reserve this. I'm not going to say anything.
I feel like Chat GPT is me. I'm the no fun person.
It's Ryan's baby. It's his turd baby. That's what Chat GPT is.
So I think it's probably going to give us the same answer for Davey's question, which was how does it rate Night Trap? So I'm going to skip forward to tell me about Dongle, Chat GPT.
Night Trap was a very popular and controversial game that helped start the ESRB.
A dongle is a small piece of hardware that attaches to a computer or mobile device to provide additional functionality. Wow, it's still going blah, 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 blah.
That's me. That's me.
Still going.
Blah,
It's like the Energizer Bunny.
blah, blah, blah. Overall, dongles are a convenient way to enhance the functionality of a device or provide additional features, and they are widely used in both personal and professional settings.
Claim it. You're right.
Yes.
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 You cannot
Personal
spell
use
dongle
Dongles.
without Don G. And what's funny is take that right there, Don G. And if you put those together, guess what you get? You get dong. So if I go and if I go put my name in some place and they're like, oh, what's your name? I'm like, oh, Don G. And then I'm just waiting to see if they make that connection in their head, like dong. Like, is this guy fucking with me? Is this name really Dong? So I just dong. Where's my automobile? Automobile.
Next time you go to play laser tag and they ask you for what your name's gonna be, Don J needs.
Don
to
G.
You got
Is this
tagged
next
by
thing?
Dong. It is in Canada, I will tell you that. So Donnie compensates with his name. Oh.
Heyo.
Hi-oh. And
Now,
Clay
we gotta
just
give
choked
it
on a pretzel.
We got to give it something really provocative. Something to really make it like not like that, but like something where it can't just spit out a list of facts.
Well, it doesn't do emotion. So
Well, it can probably pretend or fake emotion.
Wait, did I hear that Dong is stronger in Canada? Where is the show going?
I don't really have an idea of what it can like what it's going to spit out, because everything we've heard, you know, if we asked it what does it think about this, what does it think about that, it only spits a fact about it. So how are we going to get it to elicit an emotional response?
I said, "Tell me a short story about a dongle."
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
There we go. Nice dong, eh?
Once upon a time, there was a writer who had been working on a novel for months. One day she was typing away on her laptop. Her computer suddenly shut down. When she tried to turn it back on, she was greeted with an error message that said her computer could not find the file she had been working on. Desperate to recover her work, the writer searched online for a solution. After a bit of research, she discovered that her laptop's hard drive had failed and she would need to take it to a professional to retrieve her files. However, the professional informed her that the cost would be very high and there was no guarantee that they would be able to recover all of her data. This is kind of boring.
That's
Worst
how movies.
story ever.
But that's how certain movies start.
Feeling discouraged and defeated, the writer began to pack up her things. As she was doing so, she noticed a small USB dongle on her desk. It was a gift from a friend, and she had never used it before. In a last-ditch effort, the writer decided to insert the dongle into her laptop and see if it could help. To her surprise, the dongle contained a backup of all her writing files, even though she never used it, including the novel she'd been working on for months. With tears of relief streaming down her face, the writer saved the files to her new laptop and continued working on her novel. And from that day forward, the writer made it a habit to always keep a backup of her work on a dongle, just in case something unexpected happened again. The end.
Huzzah! Dongle.
Dongle. So I hope the AI that's writing video games for us comes up with something better than this.
I'll fix your laptop with my dongle. Wah, wah.
Chicka bow bow.
Okay.
Dongle.
Tell me a short story about
Dongle.
Gamers Week podcast.
Ooh.
Ooh. So is it gonna now? If it brings back our names, she's squinting, or unless she's
Retro
frozen.
Legends, that was my question too, but Chat GPT knows things in the future. I mean, it's already a robot. Kobayashi Maru, I like that.
All right. Once upon a time, there were 3 friends who were avid gamers. They loved nothing more than playing games and discussing the latest news and updates in the gaming industry. One day, they decided to start a podcast to share their passion with others. They called it the Gamers Week podcast, and each week they would gather around a microphone to talk about their favorite games, share their opinions on industry news, and interview guests from the gaming community. At first, the podcast had a small following, but over time, it began to grow in popularity. People from all over the world would tune in to listen to the trio's witty banter and insightful commentary on the gaming world. Here's where it gets good. One day, the Gamers Week podcast caught the attention of a major gaming company who offered to sponsor the podcast and provide them with early access to new games and technology. The trio was overjoyed, and their podcast continued to grow in popularity, eventually becoming one of the most listened to gaming podcasts on the internet. As
If-
time went on.
If this becomes true, prophetic. Just
Yes.
saying.
If
I'm
this
a-
becomes true, I fully welcome our robot overlords.
I'm about ready to finish. Please keep going.
As time went on, the 3 friends became known as experts in the gaming world, and they were invited to speak at conferences and events all around the world. They even had the opportunity to meet some of their gaming heroes and interview them for the podcast. The Gamers Week podcast had started as a hobby for the 3 friends, but it had turned into something much bigger than they could have imagined. They continued to host the podcast for many years, inspiring and entertaining gamers around the world with their passion and knowledge of the gaming industry. Somebody get Donnie a Red Bull and a sandwich.
And a cigarette.
Oh.
Uh,
Woo!
Dottie needs a nap now.
Donnie has a new kink now.
I just hope it comes true. I really do, man. Thank you, Chat GPT. You just made my night.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Please be LGN.
Just my pants are still on, so there you go.
And the company was Sega. I'll take that one over LJN.
Yeah, I'd be sponsored by Sega.
Doug
Yeah.
said, don't let it be EA. Don't let it be EA.
I mean, if the check cashes.
No, we have some kind of morals here, don't we?
Do we? Do we? Do we?
Yes, I'm gonna say if EA approached us, I would not do it.
It's the stages of Donnie. Curiosity, frustration, hatred, love. Look at all
Acceptance,
comes
love.
together. Oh, Clayman, I love you for that one.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna take EA's money. I'm not gonna lie.
Sell out.
Uh-huh.
Sell out with me. Oh yeah, sell out.
Some of us
Me
didn't get our
tonight.
student loans forgiven. So
They
Gotta be careful,
said
Donnie.
they said they did, but I haven't seen any movement on that yet. So I'm kind of waiting. You know.
Mhm.
Got to be careful on that though, Donnie. You might get DMCA'd with that perfect rendition of Real Big Fish.
You know what?
So-
You're right. I apologize, Lord. I apologize.
So, anything else?
No, that
Anything
puts us
else?
at about the hour mark, so I think that would be your typical uncut episode that we do.
Pretty much.
Mhm.
So if you guys enjoyed today's conversation and things like that, we do have a Patreon, of course, which is patreon.com/gamersweek. And if you like this kind of banter, we do this on a weekly basis on the uncut episodes. So definitely, if you are enjoying yourself tonight, check that out. It comes with a lot of other perks, including a private Discord, a lot of fun game nights, movie nights, all these activities that we do kind of in the background, and be a part of a really great community because we got a lot of really cool people, and a lot of the people that you are interacting with chat today are patrons themselves. So
Mhm. And the uncut episodes typically have a lot more swearing and a lot more dirty jokes than you
Yes.
heard tonight. So, fair warning if that's not what you're into. But if it is what you're into, it's well worth the $5.
And that's what we can do, I think, on these live streams. If I'm not mistaken, it's not a Twitch TOS. So anything that we kind of talk about on our uncut episodes, we can also do it here. So as long as I'm not taking off the shirt and showing the pasties, I think we'll be fine.
but that's what I came for, Donnie, was the pasties. In fact, I came for the Bubble Bobble pasties that you purchased at NPC.
I told you that in secrecy.
And if
You should know
everybody
better
can
than that.
Yeah. I fucked up. I know I fucked up. Yeah, I see that. Well, everybody, thank you very much for sticking with us tonight and joining us for our live webcast. We do appreciate that. We don't do it all that often. The last time we did it, I think, was in January. So, I personally would like to do this like maybe once a month if we can swing it. If not, I completely understand. But you have seen me stream on the Gamers Week podcast Twitch channel. You will be seeing our other two co-hosts, Ryan and Blue, stream on the Gamers Week podcast
You
channel.
just wake up in the morning and lie, don't you?
I need to tell that to myself. To keep going every day. Ramboski says the WGPC is the party and the uncut episode is the after party. Yes, you are correct, Ramboski. Thank you for stopping in tonight.
Yeah, and Ramboski, thank you so much for the really kind comments you keep leaving on those. I mean, we
Yes.
can't really reply to you on the Patreon website, but we do read them and share them with each other, and we really appreciate them.
And like Holy Headshot just says, Mario Kart night. Yes, we have done that before, and we will continue to do that. The more patrons want to get involved with doing game nights, we can definitely stream those on Twitch, so everybody can sit here and watch that too. But yeah, definitely look forward to all three of us streaming at some point on the Gamers Week podcast Twitch channel. But we do a shh. We I was like, ah! We do greatly appreciate you guys, every single one of you. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and see who's streaming so we can send them over to you.
One of our patrons, Redox, is streaming right now.
Oh,
Okay.
excellent.
All right. Let's go ahead and send you guys on over to Redox PDX, and you will have a good night in her stream. Thank you very much, guys. Take it easy.
Thank you
We
for
appreciate
listening.
you. Everybody say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Ned.
As is tradition.
Yeah.
And